And this is one of the questions that somebody asked, Danah, that I think it was, and she was asking about the difference, the impact that quantum management will have in the future, or better, she was asking the way that you saw quantum management in the past and how you built it. Do you think that this changes after this so big challenge that we have with the COVID and the future of business and future of the ecosystems that we live in, economy, the society, the corporation, the business? So how is that the quantum management changes after this? I have my opinion, but I wanted to hear from you first, Danah.
I'm glad you said everything you did, because you've said it very well. One of the most important insights of quantum physics is that relationship is everything. Indeed, quantum physics tells us that the universe itself and everything in it is actually made of relationships. It is the relationship between you and me that makes me who I am and who you are, etc. And business grew up at a time during the Industrial Revolution when Newton's physics was telling us the world was made of atoms, separate atoms, isolated from each other in space and time. And this gave business a model that the company is separate from its environment, the leader is separate from his workforce, the workers themselves are separate from each other in different siloed functions, and worst of all, that the smoke that comes out of business chimneys is entirely separate from the atmosphere of the earth. And I think that what is most striking to all of us about the COVID crisis is that it's made us realize how dependent we are on each other, how very interlinked our world is. A few strands of DNA or RNA in Wuhan, China, can make the entire globe get ill in a matter of days, it now turns out. And that this planet we live in and this space that we share is indeed very vulnerable. Mm-hmm. And I hope this will prepare us to think more seriously about the real crisis that is coming, which is that of climate change. And if we don't get that crisis right, by changing our thinking, changing our behavior, and changing the way our companies operate, then that crisis is going to make COVID look like a head cold.
Yeah. Danah, don't you think you were talking, and these days, the last days, I was thinking a lot about the situation that we are in, and what is, let's say, the ideal way to live, to work after COVID. And somehow you told something that is very important. I think that the quantum management is even more, it's even stronger and more valid right now. If we will just compare with the principle of coherence. So maybe what happened right now is a kind of destructive interference that happened with all of the waves. We are particles and waves, and the way that our energy and the waves were interfering, it was kind of destructive, which is coming also the environmental crisis, COVID. But the way out of it is to find the constructive coherence, meaning for us to align together kind of our frequencies. Meaning, if we align understanding that if we put our waves together, meaning our way of thinking, if we align on what we want, that is to have an environment where everybody can win, to have an environment where everybody can win, as if we are preparing this water where the stones will be thrown, and when we have a right interference, the amplitude of the waves will be much, much higher. Meaning, if we are in coherence, we will be able to amplify the effect that we have in the environment, in our business, in our private life, professional life. So somehow it's like right now in the COVID crisis, when we saw the nations that they were able to interfere positively, be in coherence, they were aligned, and business was aligned, governments were aligned, individuals were aligned, and everybody just wanted to be healthy, and they wanted to be healthy, and they wanted to be safe and fight against COVID to come back to the new normal. But it was beautiful to see the places that they had coherence, they had a way of alignment, they went further. And the quantum management, what you explain, is to find always this kind of harmony, is how to work together in a way that we preserve the thoughts, the individuality, the diversity, but you just amplify the wishes, the wills, because we are in harmony. Isn't it, Danah?
Yes, and the decoherent, out of a line world you describe, that kind of decoherence is the same as static in a system. It is always noisy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think one of the things I've heard most commented on during this COVID crisis is that because we're all under lockdown, not using our cars or going about our shopping business, people have noticed how wonderfully peaceful and silent the world outside our homes is. The birds are singing, the dolphins are swimming in the canals of Venice, and many are saying, please God, don't let the traffic jams and the noise come back. And what they're really wanting not to come back is that decoherence you speak about. Because, again, quantum physics tells us everything is made of energy, including ourselves and our companies and our countries, etc. We are parts of energy systems. We are ourselves energy systems. And energy systems that are always at their most powerful and most useful and efficient when they are coherent, when they are on the same wavelength. And one of the things that quantum management stresses is one way to get on that same wavelength as people, as citizens, both of our nations and the world, and as members of different companies, is to align our sense of purpose to adopt the one purpose that we are all here and we're all in business to make this world a better, happier place for people to live in. And if we can somehow shed our negative motivations that distract us from that purpose, we will achieve the coherence we need.